Peninsula of Michigan in Bark River for round 6 of the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing. Today, it's the Chevrolet UP100. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, and what would you think if you were out racing at about 80 miles an hour and one of these came flying right towards you? Well, that's exactly what these drivers are going to be facing here today in Bark River. A 1.5-mile layout, very fast, a lot of elevation changes, and a lot of those rocks. Behind me up on the rise there, Class 8 is getting ready for our first race of the day. Before we do that, let's take a look at the True Value Pro Series Championship point standings. And it won't get any closer than this. A three-way tie for the lead between Jed Flannery, Scott Taylor, and Jimmy Johnson. And look how close Dan Vanden Heuvel is in 4th place. Brendan Gaughan not out of it in 5th. In 6th through 10th, Jimmy Crowder, Dave Hawkers, Lonnie Andrews, Jim Hansen, and R.J. Flanagan. Working alongside, as always, this season, Larry Rice. And Larry, this is going to be some kind of showdown.
It certainly is. You can see the land rush start. They all start side by side as we take a look at the 3 guys that are tied for the point lead. What a start.
Here is what Class 8's all about.
850 horsepower, 3,500-pound vehicles. They have to weigh 10 pounds per cubic inch, and they are exciting.
Lots of high-speed action. This is a great course for them. Justice Brothers starting grid on the pole. It'll be Jeff Probst from New Lenox, Illinois. R.J. Flanagan will line up right alongside of him from Heartland, Wisconsin. Then it'll be Jim Hansen from Oconto, Wisconsin. Lonnie Andrews from North Star, Michigan, also in this starting field, as is Dave Hawkers from De Pere, Wisconsin. Then Jimmy Crowder from Tallahassee, Florida. He'll be lining up alongside Brendan Gaughan. Brendan from Las Vegas, Nevada. Then we move into Appleton, Wisconsin's favorite Flying Dutchman, Dan Vanden Heuvel. And then there's Jed Flannery, one of the 3-point leaders from the Wisconsin Dells. Number 2 in that category is Scott Taylor from Belvedere, Illinois. And certainly last but not least, from El Cajon, California, Jimmy Johnson. And this is going to be something. On board with Brendan Gaughan. That is the straightaway. It drops off downhill, and a very hard right-hander on board there with Jimmy Johnson. Boy, he's got the R's up.
He's got the R's up, and I'll tell you what, this narrows down very, very quickly down at the bottom of this hill. As the flagman drops the green flag, you're going to see all those guys trying to funnel down into about a 2 or 3 car width lane as they go across this bridge right here.
Oh, and look at Brendan Gaughan. Gets a nice jump, cuts in front of Jeff Probst. Whoa, a little contact in the back there with Jimmy Johnson involved, and Brendan Gaughan takes the early lead. Jed Flannery second.
He got a terrific start. That's one of the best starts we've seen Brendan Gaughan have since he's been running all year long. And look at the lead he's got right now. He's got 6-7 truck lengths over everybody else.
On board with Jimmy Johnson. He is back in the pack right now. He is in like 9th position. Look at the contact in front of him.
Jimmy Crowder got in there and banged him, and Jimmy Johnson got one of the worst starts we've seen him get all year as he's way back in 7th or 8th spot. Whoa, look at this. We got somebody completely missed the jump. That was Probst that completely missed that jump as he got off the side and went under the banner. I
wonder if something broke on the truck, because that's not a real difficult area to negotiate. On board here with Brendan Gaughan, this is a real fast area of the racetrack up over the jump. Now you come down to a little left-right chicane. There's the very jump that Brendan just came over. Here's that left-right chicane we were talking about. That's Jed Flannery. Now we're back on board with Jimmy Johnson. He has already moved up to 5th place, and that is Jeff Probst right beside him.
Yes, and this is one of the fastest corners of any circuit we run on all year long. Really fast getting into that corner. He and Probst are banging into each other. They bang once, they're banging again.
Oh, it looks like Probst pushes him right to the edge of the course, and now is fighting his way back on it. Look at R.J. Flanagan. He ducks in front of Jimmy Johnson.
Yes, those 2 guys banged on each other all the way around that corner, and it cost both of them a lot of time, as once they banged, they went.
We got a left rear flat, you guys. Yeah, Taylor hit her! On Probst.
Well, you just heard the report. We're eavesdropping with Jimmy Johnson and the team.
Here, get ready in the pits, guys. Be ready.
They have reported a left rear flat as the result of the contact with Probst. That's going to really hurt Jimmy Johnson.
It does. It definitely hurts. They do have interliners in these tires, so it will stay up somewhat. But you just don't get the traction, you don't get the handling, you don't get anything when you have a tire that's down like that.
And I don't know if these 2 guys know it, but they're the other 2 fighting with Johnson for the points championship. That's Jed Flannery in 2nd, Scott Taylor in 3rd. They're both trying to track down Brendan Gaughan.
That's right, and Scott Taylor's been pretty hot here lately. Jed Flannery's not. Oh, we can see that left rear tire right there, and it is coming apart. You can see the whole tread coming apart on that left rear right now.
Well, let's take another look at it.
They bang on each other coming around this corner. They bang once, then they bang twice, and they get clear off the course. Costs them both a lot of time.
So back on board with Brendan Gaughan, and Gaughan is slowing down. Our race leader, Brendan Gaughan, is pulling off to the side of the track, and I don't hear a thing.
That's a terrible break for him. This is the best shot he's had all year long. He's leading the race. He was actually running away with him. And all of a sudden, it sounded like the engine just absolutely went dead.
Guess what? Two of the guys that are competing for the points championship are battling it out for the race lead. It's Jed Flannery and Scott Taylor. Remember, they have 68 points apiece. Oh, and it looks like Brendan Gaughan's got it refired. Maybe it was an electrical problem.
Could have been. Very easily could have been just something in the electrics that he got fixed, got back on the track, but he's lost a lot of time.
Also, another man who's lost some time, Jimmy Johnson. He's got that flat left rear. We'll find out if he has to pull in and change it. There's your leaderboard at the Chevrolet Off-Road UP 100. Back at the Chevrolet Off-Road UP 100, Marty Reed along with Larry Rice, and that's Jimmy Johnson, and he is being forced to pull into pit lane. We're going to put a clock on it, see how long this stop takes.
Yes, these stops are not like a NASCAR or, you know, IndyCar stop. These guys don't do a lot of them, so it's not usually as quick. But these guys look like they're right on top of things. They were ready. They had the radios, so they knew he was coming. That's a big, big help.
Up to 14 seconds. There's the battle for the race lead. Jed Flannery in front of Scott Taylor. Those guys are tied with Jimmy Johnson at 68 points apiece. And Johnson sees his championship hopes suffering here as he is still in the pits at 27 seconds. Now that, by any other account, is very, very long. But you can see these guys working feverishly, trying to get him back out to keep him from going a full lap down.
I'm going to tell you something. 36 seconds is awfully, awfully fast in this kind of truck racing because those tires are big and heavy. They're not used to doing it. I mean, they don't do this only on special occasions when they have a flat, so it's not something they practice all the time.
The battle for the race lead is hot and heavy. Uh-oh, getting wide. Jed Flannery's opened the door. There goes Taylor.
Oh, boy, he went by there and gave him a little love tap as he went by, just to let him know he was going to pass him. But Flannery let that happen by getting just a little bit too wide. Once Scott Taylor saw the opening, he was going to take advantage of her, at least tried to.
But we've had 5 races so far in the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing. As we go back on with Brendan Gaughan, he is back in 8th place trying to make up for that ignition problem. And we have confirmed it was the coil that is giving him all kinds of fits. And he is running in 8th at this point.
Yeah, and he's really running pretty fast. He just lost an awful lot of time sitting over there trying to figure things out. As we take a look at Jimmy Crowder, and he's on the move. And
Crowder is going to take the position. That moves him into 3rd and moves Flanagan back to 4th. In fact, Flanagan's going to 5th because here comes Vanden Heuvel.
Boy, oh boy, Crowder really has been running pretty good all year long, but all of a sudden he's picked up a little speed. He didn't get a very good start, and it looks like Brendan Gaughan's got trouble again.
Yeah, I think that ignition coil has finally given up the ghost, and so has the Glenn's cleaning system on our onboard camera. Jimmy Crowder. Oh, Crowder's a little wide. Can Vanden Heuvel get around Crowder?
He certainly does. You make a little bit of a mistake, and that's not a very big mistake. You just get in a little too hard, you slip a little bit wide, and you leave an opening for somebody to get under you. Vanden Heuvel did a nice job as he got around him in that sharp corner down there.
Did you see the size of the rock that he kicked up? Luckily, it did not hit anything. It just fell off to the side. That is Scott Taylor. Boy, he has opened up a big lead as Jed Flannery has got problems.
Yeah, he was stopped back there. Didn't see exactly what happened, but he was dead stopped on the racetrack. Got going again, though, and lost a lot of ground to the leader, though. Doesn't help his chances of winning very much.
Jimmy Johnson in 9th place. He has just gotten past Lonnie Andrews. That would move him into 8th, and he has got the hammer down. Boy, I'll tell you what, Scott Taylor, all he has to do right now is drive steady.
Well, Scott Taylor's been very steady all year long. He's had some mechanical problems. He lost a couple transmissions, but boy, oh boy, look at the dent up there in the front of that truck. Oh, Jimmy Crowder is really smoking. He's off the course.
Crowder has got it cooking, and unfortunately, he doesn't have the barbecue materials out there on the racetrack. It looks like his day is over. Look at Jimmy Johnson cutting through this field.
He has been on the move ever since he got that tire fixed, and I'll tell you what, he's on the move now.
He is into 7th. Can he get back into the top 5? Stay with us. We'll find out. Scott Taylor, he's on the final lap, and it looks like he's going to be the first 3-time winner this year in Class 8. Jimmy Johnson has moved into 5th, and that is Jim Hansen right in front of him. If he gets that position, it would be for 4th.
And that's a terrific drive. He came out of that pit stop running in 10th, and he's been on the move, but he just lost so much time. 36 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Jimmy Johnson won our last 2 events at Luxembourg and Lake Geneva. Scott Taylor won the 2 prior to that, and the opening round went to Jed Flannery. That's how these guys got into a tie for the lead, but it looks like Scott Taylor, by 21 seconds over Jed Flannery, is going to take this final couple of turns and look right at the checkered flag and take the points lead.
Scott Taylor has been on the mark all day. He hasn't missed a corner. He hasn't done anything wrong, and as a result, when everybody else made a mistake, he just pulled on away.
Here comes the checkered flag, and Scott Taylor is your first 3-time winner in Class 8, taking over the True Value Pro Series Championship points lead, and now it'll be a question of where does everybody else shake out. Take a look at the final results. Scott Taylor, Jed Flannery, Dan Vandenheuvel, Jimmy Johnson, and Jim Hansen. What a recovery by Jimmy Johnson. Remember, 20 points to the winner, 16 for second. As we look at positions 6 through 10, let's go down to victory lane.
Scott Taylor, you got a terrific start this year, and then you had a little bit of bad luck. Good to be back in winner's circle, though, right?
Sure is, Larry. Yeah, you bet it is. We had a little bit of bad luck there for a while. We had a couple of problems, and we got it straightened out once again.
What about this new tire setup Ryan Stone was telling us about?
Well, we tried. We've been kicking the idea back and forth on some tires, and went over and talked to the Goodrich guys, and we came up with a different tire that they run in the desert. We got a lot of rocks and a lot of loose dirt here, and we needed something that would come off of a corner that'd be rock tough, and that's what we did. We went out with a rock tough tire and no flats.
Speaking of rocks, look at that big dent on the front of your truck. Is that what happened there?
It sure is. I don't remember when it happened, but or what rock it was, but we were getting, just peppered with big stones, big rocks, and there's an awful lot of them out here. It seems like they've grown, and it's just one of the elements we have to go against.
You must like them pretty well.
Well, it doesn't matter. These BF Goodrich tires, this Ford pickup, we can take it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Larry.
Let's take a look at the updated True Value Pro Series standings. Scott Taylor leads Jed Flannery by 4, Jimmy Johnson by 8, Dan Vandenheuvel by 10, then a big drop down to Brennan Gaughan. He's not out of it yet, but he's going to have to start winning some races. Jimmy Crowder, Dave Hockers, Lonnie Andrews, Jim Hansen, and R.J. Flanagan round out the top 10. You notice that sign, the Bark River Lions Club? Well, this race has been going on for 21 years, and all the profits go to support the Lions Club and their charity efforts. And look at this crowd. We're expecting as many as 15,000 people here this weekend for this race in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Let's go to the BF Goodrich News and Notes.
In Class 7S, Johnny Greaves is going to debut a brand new 4-valve per cylinder engine this week. Up until now, Art Schmidt has been running a 3-valve engine, and everyone else the more standard 2 valves. Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company is coming out with a brand new tire that they hope to debut at Crandon if all tests go well. The street version of that tire will be on your shelves before the end of the year. Kurt LeDuc hasn't won a race this year, but his trucks certainly have. Rob McCachran, Scott Douglas, and Greg George have all found victory lane driving a truck that he built. The trend has always been that you build your own trucks. If you can go out and buy a competitive truck, it may make this sport easier to get into. A couple of weeks ago, we told you that Evan Evans was trying to get factory backing for next year. Well, there's nothing new on that front, but he has picked up a couple of new sponsors, and everyone seems to want to jump on the bandwagon. You better hurry. He's running out of sticker space.
He certainly is, and you'll see him in our True Value Off-Road series here on ESPN and ESPN2. And we're getting ready now for Class 4 action. There is your points leader, Scott Douglas. Let's take a look at the True Value Pro Series. He leads by 7 over Jack Flannery. Greg George and Jeff Dorr are tied for 3rd with 64 points, and Kurt LeDuc, the man we talked about, the great truck builder, so far he hasn't won himself, but he's in 5th in the point standings. Rob McCachran making a move. He's gotten very hot as of late. He is in 6th. You saw the rest of the top 10. And we're ready now for Class 4 action, as there is Scott Douglas in this very, very competitive field. Here's what it's all about.
Well, it's 3,500-pound trucks, 850 horsepower, 4-wheel drives, and boy, did they get off the corners quick with these things.
14 total vehicles in the True Value starting grid. In the front, it'll be Greg Gerlach from Dakota, Minnesota, right alongside Roy Stack from Scandia, Michigan. Then in this land rush starter, it'll be Gerald Foster. Noble, Illinois is home for Gerald. From New Lenox, Illinois, Kevin Probst, the brother of Jeff. You saw him running in Class 8 action. Jeff Holger from Coleman, Wisconsin. He'll be in this starting field, as will the man who's been on a bit of a hot run, Rob McCachran from Las Vegas, Nevada. Kurt LeDuc from Cherry Valley, California. And Jeff Dorr from Rockford, Illinois. Also in the field, Greg George. Alta Loma, California is home for Greg. Jack Flannery, second in the points from the Wisconsin Dells. And the man who is leading the way in the championship, Scott Douglas from El Cajon, California. Pete Kowach from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. He'll line up outside of Scott Douglas. And then Walker Evans from Riverside, California, as is Al Drews in this starting lineup. And we're ready to go racing on board there with Rob McCachran.
And this is a very important start. You've got to funnel down into this little bridge down here at the bottom, so you've got to get off the corner. I saw Kurt Leduc practicing this. Let's see what he does.
Boy, he's right there, and it looks like on the outside of 3 abreast. Oh, it sounds like McCachran just lost fire for a second, and boy, is that going to be costly.
Well, he lost a lot of ground for whatever reason. Either the engine quit or he had to get clear out of the throttle for some reason, because he did lose a lot of ground. He went in there 3 abreast with those guys, but all of a sudden he was the 3rd guy in line instead of coming out first.
Oh, and look at Scott Douglas. He did not get a very good start at all. And did you see another one of those big rocks flying by?
Boy, there are a lot of rocks in this course. There's no question about it. They go out and groom the course after every event, but it's still tough to get all those rocks out of there. As we take a look from Rob McCachran's and look at Kurt Leduc, he is on the throttle.
What a great view. Let's sit back and ride. That is Kevin Probst up front. Well, it was a great view.
It was a great view. That corner right there is one of the fastest corners on this whole circuit. They come down that hill, down a long straightaway, and into that real fast left-hander. Really got to be on the mark to get through there and make it through it very cleanly.
A great early run for Kevin Probst. Oh, look at Rob McCachran. Maybe the dust, whatever. He ends up going wide and hitting the course marker. And oh, look out, that's Kevin Probst, and he is over.
He got off the course, coming over that hill, got it upside down, going down the other side of it. Man, oh man, I hope he's okay.
Kevin Probst, and we'll look to see in the cockpit. Yes, I see his arms moving. That's a good sign. What a vicious crash. The last time he had one like that was at Lake Odessa several years ago, where he went end over end 2 times.
Tough break for him. That's definitely the best start we've seen him have all year long. He was leading this thing and doing very well, but obviously his day is over now.
Look at this action going on now. That is Jack Flannery trying to hold off Walker Evans. Here is Rob McCachran in 2nd place, running right behind race leader Kurt Leduc. Kurt might not have liked your news and notes on him there. He may want to prove you wrong now.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's doing a terrific job. He has run fast all year. He just hasn't run fast enough to beat the guys that have been running in front of him, Douglas and McCachran and so forth. Oh, look at McCachran, though. He is really after him hard.
On the outside, can you make this pass stick? I don't know. This is where it gets tricky.
It gets very narrow there coming off the corner. If you're going fast, you're going to slide wide. And that's exactly what Leduc did, and McCachran had to back out, let him go. This racetrack is really, really fast in that section of the racetrack. As you can see, all 4 of these first trucks right on each other.
I think McCachran might have a flat left front also. It looked like take a look here, see if we get a look at it.
Yep, I think you're right. The left front on that truck is flat. Luckily for him, most of the corners are left-hand corners in this circuit.
Boy, look at the battle here. Walker Evans and Jack Flannery. How many times have we seen these two go head-to-head? And it looks like on the outside, Walker's going to make the pass stick.
I don't know. Jack's not giving up easy. This is the best we've seen Walker Evans run. A lot of guys really running good on this circuit that have not really performed all that well this year, and it's great to see some new faces running up front. Walker's always up front. Look, let's take another look at this. Off the course, he just hits a big bump over there, over that ledge, and got sideways. Once he got sideways, that baby just rolled on over, and it rolled pretty hard. That's a very fast portion of the course.
Well, we are happy to report that Kevin Probst is shaken, stirred, but not injured, and that's the best news that we could pass on. Kurt Leduc is your leader, Rob McCachran in 2nd, and here comes Walker Evans. We're at the Chevrolet Off-Road UP 100. Don't go away. Park River, Michigan, the Chevrolet Off-Road UP 100. That is your top 3. It is Kurt Leduc, Rob McCachran, Walker Evans, and 4th place, Jack Flannery.
All 4 of those guys are pretty close, but Walker Evans seems to be the guy that's on the move. He's gaining on those first 2 guys very quickly, but Leduc so far has been able to hold him off.
Walker Evans has been driving a limited schedule this year in the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing, but the word is he's coming back full-time next year with that Class 4. Look out, guys. Whoa, look at Leduc get around the slower vehicle. That's Roy Stack. He's got a flat right rear tire, and he's nursing it home for as many points as he can get. And right behind him, Rob McCachran.
That's got to be a little frightening, coming up over that hill sideways like that at about 70 miles an hour, and then down this long straightaway. But look at that left front tire. It's definitely flat.
The inner liner is doing its job. Here is Scott Douglas. He is back in 5th place. That truck looks like it's been through a war.
Yeah, he's not running as well here today as he has run on some of the shorter courses. This is a big, long, fast course, and Walker Evans is pulling off.
Walker Evans is bringing his truck to a stop. That means 3rd place is going to shift. Oh, no. And look at Kurt LeDuc. He has shredded a left front tire. So the Rocks are the big victors today so far.
Boy, tough break for Kurt LeDuc. Looked like he was on his way. He was staying ahead of McCachran for quite a while. But this is definitely going to cost him. He's going to have to go in and get that changed. Doesn't look like he has a liner in that one.
Al Drews is the slower vehicle that both of them get around. And, boy, look at the difference. Rob McCachran, as long as that inner liner stays in place, he can pull away from Kurt LeDuc. Flannery now moves into 3rd place with Walker Evans' retirement. He is now approaching Al Drews. I don't know if Drews knows he's there, but Flannery sees that both these trucks have problems with their tires. He says, man, I got a chance to score some big points. Especially when you realize that the man who is in front of him in the True Value Pro Series Championship is 2 positions behind in 5th, and that being Scott Douglas. So at this stage, there's Jack Flannery trying to get around Kurt LeDuc. That takes him to 2nd place, and now he's got one man in his gun sights, and that's Rob McCachran. Let's go down to pit lane. Larry Rice is caught up with John Furrow of Walker Evans' crew.
What happened to Walker?
I think a torque converter let loose. It's got transmission fluid stuck all over inside underneath the back end, and it's a little bit hot, but hot's not the problem. I think a transmission let loose or something. Doesn't want to move, doesn't want to go forward.
So some teething problems with that brand new Class 4. Remember, this is the first time ever in Walker Evans' career that he has driven Class 4. It's always been a Class 8 that he has won those 21 championships. Look at this battle for the lead. Final lap, white flag. Remember, that left front inner liner is all that's holding up Rob McCachran's hopes, and Jack Flannery is right on his back bumper, Larry.
I tell you what, he is hard after him. You know, Jack Flannery always is on the hunt. He's always after the guy in front of him. Right now, he knows he's got a great chance to get after McCachran with that left front tire, although on that right-hander, he's falling back for some reason.
I wonder if Flannery's having a problem. I mean, he shouldn't have fallen back that far, and look at this. I mean, McCachran has opened up about a 4 or 5 truck length lead, and there is that left front just hanging on. You know, this could turn out to be just a race of survival. Who can get their truck to the finish line first in what will be left of it in this tough layout at Bark River? Let's go down to pit lane, catch up with Daryl Jakes. He's along with Larry Rice, Marty Reed with you in Bark River, Michigan. That is Rob McCachran. From his view, he is looking at Dave Hockers, and he is trying to get around him. He is our race leader. Hockers about to be put a lap down, but boy, just not enough room, and he finally gets on the inside, and there you saw the white flag is out.
And Rob McCachran is really on a roll. He's won 2 in a row the last time out. Now that he's well on his way to doing it again, as he's got a good lead on the final lap, and he's already got 1 victory.
The double is extremely hard to pull off, where you win both your class race and the Manufacturer's Challenge. He pulled it off, Rob McCachran did, back at Luxembourg, and he's on his way to doing it 2 times in a row, and it's never been done before since we've begun televising these events here in the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing. So 2 in a row, it wouldn't really be something to crow about, and boy, it would wake up everybody in the competition.
He's got a half a lap to go. Walker Evans is keeping the pressure on. He's not giving him any room. You know, he's not going to be able to catch him unless Rob makes a bad mistake or has some trouble, but he is keeping the pressure on. Rob can't relax anywhere on the racetrack.
So McCachran up over that high-flying jump, back on board with him. Let's ride around for the last time.
We've got to go up the hill now. We're going through this big sweeping left-hander up here at the top of the hill. He's got to make this.
He's slowing down. Rob McCachran is slowed.
It's dead in the water. It's not running.
And where is Walker Evans? Oh, and Walker Evans moves around Rob McCachran. And just what you said had to happen is what exactly occurs. He loses fire in the motor, and Walker Evans on the last lap with literally 3 corners to go is going to win this race.
Man, oh man, Walker Evans never gave up. He was on him relentlessly the whole race. Couldn't make up a lot of ground just back there, but now then it all paid off because he comes around the final corner and gets the checkered flag.
Walker Evans inherits the victory when Rob McCachran breaks. Take a look at the final standings. Kurt LeDuc ends up in 2nd despite the rollover. Jimmy Johnson battles back to 3rd. Jack Flannery in 4th, and Jeff Dorr rounds out the top 5. And as we look at 6 through 10, Rob McCachran gets credited with 10th place. Let's go down to Victory Lane, where Larry's with our winner.
Walker Evans is back in a big way. You got to feel great.
Well, I certainly do. Believe me, I've missed most all of the soda races this year. Just been sneaking in the, you might say, the 11th hour and driving a little bit on Sunday. Not spending enough time with Randy and my trucks. And first weekend that I get a double weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday, my land, it comes off first place. I'm certainly happy.
Hey, you were running so fast. You had the pressure on McCachran the whole way.
Yes, I did. And I tell you, that's kind of the key to it. If I hadn't have, I mean, he'd have backed off and maybe nothing would have happened, or vice versa. I said I was going to run this thing flat out. If it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Unfortunately, it did.
The Desert Racers seem to do very well today. Is this a good track for you guys?
Yeah, did you notice that? I guess it's long distance, a little bit dusty, over the hills and dales, and, you know, maybe similar to Baja without some cactus. But I noticed Kurt LeDuc and Rob and myself are kind of, you might say, up front. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Proud to be here.
Hey, we found out what happened to Rob McCachran. Those famous rocks. It broke a fuel line, stopped him dead on the track. The Chip-In Motel and Casino at Harris, Michigan provided accommodations for the ESPN crew, and our thanks to them. And our thanks to the folks in Bark River, Michigan, the fans, the organizers of the event. Our first trip here has been a resounding success. We have really enjoyed ourselves. For Larry Rice, Jimmy Johnson, I'm Marty Reed. We'll see you next time we go off-road racing.